Crude oil down over 2% on the lows today, coming back a little bit in toward the end of the day, but most of Friday's gains were completely wiped out, erased by the weakness in the demand story, at least a potential weakness that could come from global economic weakness with some of the other factors involved. We now have our second day of the last three where WTI crude oil settled below $55 a barrel, and you actually saw a drop, a 20% drop in the Brent WTI spread as they compressed. Brent was down quite a bit more than WTI was. China weakness is one of the main reasons. The demand story, again, part of the reason for the fall. The yuan fell below 7 to the US dollar, and that's kind of a bad omen for global economies. That's been kind of talked about as a level that the Chinese government would not allow the yuan to fall below. If the currency weakens, then the Chinese population actually does end up absorbing a decent amount of the tariffs. Not all of them, but just the costs of other goods coming into China, not just from the US, but elsewhere, get much more expensive. And that, in a way, is a de facto way that the Chinese population absorbs the tariffs, and actually kind of portends further weakness in the Chinese economy, pushing crude down even further, being one of the top three purchasers of crude oil, purchasers and consumers of crude oil. And then lastly, Baker Hughes could have put a little bit of a floor into the market. That's part of the reason that we had a strong Friday. Hasn't played out yet, but also could be part of the reason that we saw a little bit of rally back in toward the end of the day. We are now at our lowest level of active rigs in over 3 years. Last time we were below 770 on active oil rigs was February of 2016. So again, U.S. production expected to drop a little bit, has been dropping, not necessarily at a terribly dramatic level, especially if prices continue to stay here, but it may not just be OPEC whose production is being pulled back. The demand weakness, however, at this point outweighing that for crude oil price.